I know. You're thinking, why on earth is he doing a podcast so early on? It's only been 2 episodes. Just calm your farm. Well, I'm sorry, but I can't calm my farm, because my farm is buzzing. Heading into this series, there was hype, but it felt more like quiet anticipation, hold your breath sort of stuff. It hadn't been marketed anywhere near as much as I thought it would be, with a few trailers here and there and short snippets. We barely knew anything about the show, only the fact that it will circulate around Boba, Fennec Shand, and their grasp on the leadership as crime lords of Tatooine. Some intriguing rumors circulated about the show, with one saying that most of the footage in the trailers is from the first episode. Another said that this show would surpass The Mandalorian Season 2, which of course we will eagerly await to see. On a personal level, the character of Boba Fett has always interested me. As a child, watching him in Empire, and Vader associating with him, heightened the sense of mystery and unknown about this respected individual. The main questions being, what does he look like under the mask, why does he wear a mask, and why does Vader respect him? As time went on, we got little twinklings of Boba's story in the prequels, the Clone Wars, and finally in The Mandalorian Season 2. We briefly see how he evolved from a simple young boy to a revenge-driven son to a skilled and professional bounty hunter. But even after this, there was still a lot of mystery and intrigue surrounding the character, in particular, the death of him. Many speculated for years that he had survived the Sarlacc pit. In Legends, that does prove to be the case, but no canonic evidence was present until we hit Mando Season 2. Slave 1 was the first to show up, with a huge roar from the YouTubers in their reactions. Then Boba showed up, and was soon an audience favourite with his witty remarks, deep voice, and aggressive fighting technique. Many already loved him in Legends, but to have the canonic confirmation of his survival and his epicness meant a lot to them. The ones with a keen eye would have noticed that he was using a Tusken spear, which ignited more rumours and speculation. The problem was, the show we were watching was called The Mandalorian, not Boba Fett, so the questions surrounding how he survived and why he had a Tusken weapon weren't answered. But at the time we didn't really care because they gave us an amazing story with the characters like, spoilers ahead, Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano, and the ultimate ending with the extended reintroduction of Luke Skywalker, which brought many to tears, especially after his controversial treatment in the sequels. But, back to Boba. So the Mando credits are rolling, where we are still thinking about and shocked by Luke's presence, and in Marvel-like fashion, they drop a post-credit scene. We see Boba assassinate Bib Fortuna, and take a seat on Jabba's throne, indicating him taking up the mantle of Crime Lord of Tatooine. Then it says that the Book of Boba Fett will be released in December 2021. As if they couldn't make the finale any better, but they did, by dropping us a new show coming out in a year's time of a beloved character. And by they, I mean Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, the saviors of Star Wars, who are clearly leading the franchise back onto a successful, fan-loved path. So skip forward 1 year, to December 29, and with Marvel fans coming off the high of No Way Home, Star Wars fans needed this show to be fire. Episode 1 begins with a long panned shot of Jabba's palace, finally zooming into a Bacta tank with Boba inside. This begins a reoccurring film method of using Boba's healing in the Bacta tank as a way to go through flashbacks of his life, and what a smart way to do it. Very clever screenwriting. We see some stunning new shots of Kamino, then the shot of Boba holding Jango's helmet after he was slain. We see Boba escape the pit using his fire weapon, bursting through the sand with his fist. Boba is very weak, which is further demonstrated by his visceral makeup all over his face and his body. The Jawas, as they do, scrap all of Boba's suit from him as he is too weak to fight back. Boba is laying there hopelessly in the sands until the Tuskens emerge from the thick fog. They give us our first look at Boba's theme, which is another stunner by Ludwig. The Tuskens hold him as prisoner, beating him up, forcing him to do manual labor right under the twin suns of Tatooine, as well as not providing him with adequate water for his work. Fun fact, the Red Rhodian prisoner is voiced by Sam Witwer, the voice of Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. While digging for water, they encounter a large six-legged beast, by which the Rhodian prisoner is killed. Boba gets hit a couple of times, but in true warrior-like fashion, gets on the back of the beast, strangling it with his own prisoner chains until it runs out of breath and collapses. The child Tusken takes the head back as a souvenir to show his fellow clanmates and clan leaders. There's a wholesome moment when the child Tusken is visually portraying how the beast was killed using his little weapon. Now I'm not fully sure if the child Tusken is the head Tusken's son, but killing the monster and saving the child earned him respect from the leader, who shows his appreciation by giving him water to drink. This is a life lesson that blind loyalty and acceptance doesn't work between two unknown people. One needs to prove their loyalty, which Boba does by defending the child and slaying the monster. You feel as if this is the stepping stone for a symbiotic relationship between the Tuskens and Boba. Back in present time, Boba is getting used to running Tatooine. As its crime lord, with Fennec Shand being his able assistant, the mayor is set up as a possible adversary with his lack of recognition of Boba. Boba visits some of the sites that Jabba used to make sure they know who's the new leader in town. He and Fennec Shand are then surprise attacked by assassins, being rammed by their glow-up shields. Boba is injured in battle and taken by his new Gamorrean soldiers back to the Bacta tank. Fennec Shand catches one of the assassins to take back to Boba, and that completes the episode. A fine episode to start, perfect length, with us getting some of our burning questions answered, in particular how he survived, how did the Jawas get his armor, and how he joined up with the Tuskens. Episode 2 begins with the interrogation of the captured assassin. The CGI of Jabba's palace and the sands of Tatooine is amazingly good. It looks movie quality. They tease the Rancor from Return of the Jedi when Boba drops the assassin below, but as we know, that Rancor was already killed, but the fear was enough for the assassin to mention his employer being the mayor. Boba goes straight to the employer with the assassin, breaking the door in the process. The mayor explains that this member of the Night Wind was not sent by him, and one of his soldiers executes the assassin. The mayor leads Boba to the twins, who are Hutts and cousins of Jabba. The twins tell Boba that they want to claim Jabba's throne and tell Boba to sleep lightly, with a Wookiee bounty hunter named Black Kurusantan from Legends popping up beside them. I genuinely hope we get to see him and Boba fight at a point in the show. He looks sick. The rest of the episode are focused on flashbacks of Boba and his journey with the Tuskens. The relationship between the Tuskens and Boba is similar to that of a foreign people and indigenous people of a land. This aspect of the episode is one I love. It gives a sense of suspense, drama, and discovery around the journey to build on the relationship. He is being trained by the Tusken with black robes. I'll call him the Black Tusken, and training is a journey of discovery in itself. Black Tusken is trying to teach him how to successfully use their weapons. Boba is confused at first, but as he gives more visual signals, Boba begins to understand the movements to make. Interrupting their training, a train speeds through the sands with snipers inside killing many of the Tuskens. The scene time jumps where Boba is lifting one of the dead Tuskens and putting him into the fire. This scene really symbolizes Boba's discovery and compassion for the Tuskens and their losses, with the following shot panning towards him indicating his realization of these Tuskens being a people who also lose loved ones, and his desire to stop the train begins. This scene mirrors that of Anakin Skywalker when he has his mum's body in his arms and his eyes turn into a rageful, revenge-driven character, destined to execute all the Tuskens and fall to the dark side. We get a solid action scene when Boba goes into a bar and beats up gangsters who are abusing the local folk. He brings back their speeders to the Tusken camp to help with their raid to stop the train. The train comes back for a second time, and we notice familiar faces inside. It is full of members of the Pike Syndicate. Boba and the Tuskens successfully raid the train, capturing the remaining members of the Pikes in the process. Boba makes a fair and just decision, offering the Pikes a deal wherein they pay a toll to the Tuskens, as this is their land, and they shall walk back with their lives as a sign of civility. This is another sign of Boba's respect for the people and their rights, and his growing love toward them. As a gift for helping the people, the Tusken leader gives Boba a lizard, which will help guide him mentally. An extended metaphor plays out, with us shown a new scene from him as a child watching his father go away. There are slick transitions between him and his suit, then we see him trapped by a tree. We get more transitions between him being trapped by the tree and being trapped in the Sarlacc pit. He eventually breaks free by breaking one of the branches. In my mind, this is a metaphorical breaking of a branch, in particular letting go of his father and his former self. He returns to the Tuskens with the branch as the leader takes back the lizard. He goes into a tent and is truly transformed into a Tusken, dressed into their robes and clothing, confirming the fact that he is a part of their village now, and you can see he truly embraces it. Following this, he goes off with his branch, and the Black Tusken and another Tusken are waiting for him. This branch will in fact be his Tusken spear, which he has to mold and make for himself. He is guided by the Tuskens as he makes his own personal weapon. I find the making of this weapon to be very similar to that of a Jedi. In particular, going back to a Clone Wars episode, younglings have to find their kyber crystals by confronting their fears. Then they craft the weapon themselves, which is nearly what Boba does with this weapon. He overcomes his past and guides himself to the material of his weapon, then goes on to build it. The final scene is built up slowly. Black Tusken and Boba get up and mimic each other on opposite sides of a campfire at night as the rest of the Tuskens watch on. Slowly, as the beat of the drums increase in volume and reach a crescendo, more and more Tuskens join, until all of them are going around the campfire doing the tribal dance. A beautiful shot to end the episode, reassuring us as an audience that Boba has become a Tusken and that they are completely accepting of him as one of them. What a brilliant 2 episodes. The CGI, the acting, the locations, the characters, the story, the music, the costumes, it's all done amazingly well. From these 2 episodes alone, I have extremely high hopes going forward, not just for the rest of this series, but the upcoming shows as well. For all of you that are worried out there, Star Wars truly is in a very safe place with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau at the helm. Expect big things coming soon. I really hope you enjoyed my podcast. If you did, please give it a like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate and need more of your support to continue these podcasts. Until next time, the Force will be with you. Always.